Hey everybody, G-Bear, Homesteading the Desert. Tonight's episode on May 22nd. It's a Tuesday. I skipped last night because, the wind's been hampering things. And we got a little wind going tonight, but I got a lot done today, and I got a little bit done yesterday, so I'm going to get through that pretty quickly here. Let's move on. All right. Got the TV on, ready to watch my Yule Hauser shows, and I want to show you there's a little change here. We've got a microwave above the stove. Yeah, I installed that yesterday because it was so windy outside. I decided to work inside, and I wasn't really going to install it. I had to move that cabinet up 1 inch, and that one still has to go up 1 inch. But I got this one done because I have to empty all the cabinets out, take everything off of them, and all that. And I'll do that one later. It won't take me too long to square that away. But right now I've got this done. And then you can see I made a little spice rack around the corner, and I put all my spices on there. And I've got my knives all anchored to the wall there, and I've got my cutting board clean. I'm going to be doing barbecue chicken tonight with broccoli, and might even do some French fries. I don't think so. I'm potatoed out right now. But anyway, I wanted to show you all of that. And I think that's all we have for the inside here. So let's move on outside. And actually, the reason I got involved, yeah, the wind's blowing. I think you can probably hear that, even though I have my covered microphone on. The reason I hung the microwave was I had to get some tools out for a job, one of the earnings for the yearnings jobs. And I started moving stuff around in here, and I really made a hole coming in here. I was going to take this with me to the job, but I can't find the hoses to it. They're in here somewhere. But I moved all the tools here. And then I actually got a clothing rack up here and hung up some of my clothes. Those are expensive shirts. They're like $100 a piece. Rain Spooner brand. And lifetime guaranteed. And these are before the new material. This is all really good, heavy material. I have the Christmas collection there, and then over here just some of the other different Hawaiian shirts. They're my chef jackets and my winter coats and that stuff. And up here I threw a couple of work t-shirts and some go-to-town t-shirts, things like that. Anyway, I made a hole in here. And the microwave was sitting right here, and I needed that extra room to hang this clothing rack. And somebody gave me that clothing rack, and I figured I'd make use of it. But I had to move that microwave. And I said, well, I'm not just going to move it to another location. I'm just going to install it. So that's the story on how the microwave ended up getting installed yesterday. And I can actually make my way to the back right now, and a lot more of this stuff is going to start clearing out here pretty soon, and there'll be a lot of room to move around in here. All right, all of this stuff here, these are all old tax records. I don't really need them anymore, but I didn't have time to sit down and shred them all, so those will all get used up in the nighttime campfires as the summer sets in. And all of these tools will be moved out to the other container as I make room in there. So, that being said, let's move on down the line. It's a beautiful day. It was calm all day. And right up until the time I finished packing everything to go to my job, I was thinking about going to take a shower. And now the winds are gusting at 17 to 20 miles an hour. Go figure. All right. Down here at the chicken coop, if you look inside here, you'll notice that there's a white piece of plastic in there. And underneath it, I've got the hardware cloth, the 1/4 inch hardware cloth. So in the summertime, I can pull that out and let the coop cool down a little bit. This, of course, will get cut off to the right length so that it doesn't overhang. Then I'll put this in on the cooler days so that it keeps the wind from blowing up inside. And for cleaning, I just open this flap door, pull this thing out, tilt it down, scrape everything off, put it back in again. Pretty easy, huh? I also brought my 2 big piano hinges out there. The one long one will go across here for this flap that flaps down, and then the other one will be cut in half, and one will go across here and one on the other side. Okay, didn't get any other wood up here because again, I've got a earnings for the earnings job coming up, and I had to get everything put away, and I had to also start loading tools up. That takes a little bit of time. Moving on over here to the garden house, we're going to take a walk inside. I love this garden house, and as I said, my wire is in, so I will be picking that up before the weekend, and I'll be able to finish this thing out and get my other trees up here. All right, my little carrot sprouts down inside there. Don't know if you can see them through the wire, but they're all doing well. My sunions, I've actually got pretty good sized sunion right there on that plant. And I don't know if you can see inside there, but there's also some of the flowers starting to come up. So those will go to seed, and I'll be able to let those drop into the soil and replant themselves. That's what I like about onions. All right, my blue lake bush beans and cilantro, no sprouting yet. I planted those seeds directly into soil. I didn't do them my other method of starting. I wanted to see what the difference was. So if I don't have any sprouts on this, when I get back from this job, I'm going to sprout those indoors like I normally do. Here's my little tomato plants that were looking a little scrawny. I buried them down deep to just the little leaves sticking out, and I gave them some go juice, and they're kicking off, going crazy here, so they're loving it. My peppers, they're still healthy, looking good. My corn, it's really starting to get real healthy there. You see all my corn stalks coming up. They're all about 4 inches tall now. And this one over here, of course, is another jalapeno pepper. I put a singular in there. And just wanted to show you that. I love this floor. You see my lead weights down here holding the boards down. I don't think I need those anymore, but they're not hurting anything. And they might hold this thing down if the wind really gets hard through this wire. I better close the door so no bugs get in. There we go. All right, heading back up. You can see my turbine is turning. The sun is setting, like I said, directly over my panels. That's why they're flat, and they're gathering sun still, even though the sun is up in the far west over there. It's going to go down over the mountain there. Usually in the winter it goes down over there, so that's why I have a tilt. But right now, because it goes most of the day, it's right like this, straight overhead, right over the top of those things. And I get the most electricity out of them this way. All right, you can see I've cleaned up all my tools here. The table, no big deal, that can stay out for right now. I don't need that one on this job. And this little contraption over here, I told you that I had built something so one man can install or uninstall a microwave, and this is it. Now this is a Harbor Freight transmission jack that I modified and converted. I added these extra arms on here, and this actually sits on the countertop on both sides of the stove with the wheels in place. And then this centerpiece here can slide in and out depending on how big your microwave is. And then you can adjust the tilt on it here by screwing this up. Oh, I just pulled my microphone out. Let me plug it back in again. And then once you get that into place, you can tilt the microwave to where it's got to be tilted, and then just crank the ratchet down there, and this thing will rise up. And once you get it into place, you just push forward. And these things also swivel. So if they hit the back wall, they'll swivel out and level. And then it's very simple. Once you get it hooked onto the hooks that on the wall plate, then I lower that one down so that it hangs on the hooks, and then jack it up some more so that this side comes up and levels the whole microwave off. Then just go up on top, put the 2 screws in. Real simple. And that's what I use to put that microwave in by myself. All right, that's it for today. Cloud potatoes doing great. I'm going to be harvesting those in a couple of weeks. The plants are completely filled, that whole interior. Before I do harvest, though, what I'm going to do is take those down to the garden house once I get that completed and wired in so that the critters can't get to it at all. Then I will bring them in there and take the top wire off so the plants can grow up a little bit more, because I want to push that thing to the limit and see if I can really fill it up with potatoes. Get a 5-gallon pail full of potatoes. That's going to be a real joy to see that. All right. G Bear signing off from another episode of Homesteading the Desert.